How does energy move through an environment? In an ecosystem, food energy is transferred from one organism to another through feeding relationships. So the transfer of energy drives the movement of matter. So how can this relation be modeled? So let's find out. First, we are going to talk about food chain. Food chain is a simple model that shows how energy moves from the sun to producers to one or more consumers through feeding relationships. So again, food chain is a simple model that shows how energy moves from the sun. So the first one of the food chain is sun, because it's the source of energy. Then from the sun to a producer like plants, to one or more consumers through feeding relationships. In a food chain, arrows with the transfer of energy show the transfer of energy. So the arrows in the food chain show the transfer of energy. The amount of available energy decreases every time it is transferred from one organism to another. So this amount of available energy decreases from one organism to another. A food chain is helpful when studying certain parts of an ecosystem, but it does not show the whole picture. So let's start by this food chain. We start, as we said, that from the sun, because it's the source of energy, from the sun to a producer like plants. Plants make energy rich food using sunlight. So sun, then a producer like plants. As we said, that plants use the energy to make from sun to make food in the photosynthesis. After plants, we have to choose a consumer like this mouse, for example, because it obtains energy by eating the plant. So now the snake, another consumer, because obtain energy by eating the mouse. So after the snake, another consumer, the hawk, obtains energy by eating the snake. Now let's read about food web. Food web show how food chains in a community are interconnected. So how food chains in a community interconnected. You can think of food web as many overlapping food chains. Like the food chain, Iris shows how energy in a food web. So the arrows in food web or food chain to show how energy flows. Some organisms in the food web may be part of more than one food chain in that web. For example, this food chain, as we said, that it's like many food. This is a food chain. It's like many food chains together give us a food web. So this food chain starts by diatoms eaten by copepods and krill. So this is like a food chain connected with another food chain like krill eaten by fish and eaten by squid. Squid, for example, also eaten by seal. So all this we called it as food web.